What's up, guys? Welcome back to Rant Roller Sport Live. I've been doing a lot of lives lately. I'll get back to some of my normal programming as I can free up the time, but I've been doing a lot of these lives lately because this is just the easiest thing I can do. It's just so much more simple to go live than to sit down and create a video and edit it and upload it, because a lot of times it takes way longer to upload. Okay. As you can see by the title, for those who are coming in or will be coming in, I'm pissed off about something. And in general, I like to do these lives when I'm passionate. I don't just like to sit here and blah you guys, right? So this Ben Simmons thing, the point guard of the Philadelphia 76ers, is starting to irritate me, starting to get on my nerves. And let me give you a little bit of background. I moved up to the Pennsylvania mountains from New York City. I was never a Knicks fan. I moved around a lot as a kid. New York is my home, but since I moved around so much as a kid, I didn't become grounded or rooted in rooting for my hometown teams. I rooted for the teams I liked watching, which were the San Francisco 49ers in the NFL, the New York Mets in Major League Baseball, and the Los Angeles Lakers in the NBA. Those are my three primary teams. But I can support and get behind other teams I have in the past that I enjoy watching. Okay, I'm not so much of a diehard fanatic that I can't watch another team or can't support or follow another team. Okay, I'm not that type of fan, sports fan. That's why you haven't even seen a 49ers hat yet. I have to find one that I like, and then I will be grabbing one of those. I got to grab me a Laker hat. And I already have an all-black Mets hat that I've worn, but you guys didn't notice the Mets logo because it's in all black. Anyway, let's get right to it. I watch Skip and Shannon on a regular basis, and I love the way Skip hates. I can appreciate his talent for the way that he hates, right? But in this case, he's never hated on Ben Simmons. The man knows quality when he sees it. Okay? The man knows quality. So I'm going to just play this little clip right quick. Just y'all can listen to the audio, and then I'm going to give my piece.
Oh, damn! To battery that charge.
My name is Alicia, and I live in San Diego, California. I am an artist, and my medium is sugar art. My mom taught me how to express my feelings through.
This Android phone is getting on my nerves. I'm never getting another Android phone again. It's jumpy. It's always busy doing something. I'm right back to Apple. This Android is not it, in my opinion.
I've been trying to tell you this for the longest time. Yep. And you know, Doc can fix this. No, Doc is part of the reason why I got to this. A lot of this stuff, look, a lot of this has to do with Ben. Ben did not play well in the Atlanta series. And when he was down at his lowest, he felt his superstar teammate and his coach piled on him. You can get the fans, Ben, you terrible, you suck, you're not any good. Okay, I can accept that. That's outside. But the one thing I don't want to have happen is one of my teammates and my coaches also piling on. So it made a bad situation, it made it worse. So this offseason, they go try to talk to him. I don't want to be here. I'm ready to move on. I think I know for a fact we should move on. Yeah. Doc, comes out here to LA and talks and yelling and screaming and saying, "Hey, you under contract? You're under heavy contract?" Yeah. Ben said, "I get all that. But I want to play for anybody other than you." And I kept telling you, Joel and B said, "You know what? I've had it up to here with the PC stuff. Now I'm about to tell you how I feel about this. He said, I ain't got nothing for this man. I paraphrase basically what he says, Skip. I'm not here to babysit. Now, Joel Embiid is telling you how he really feels.
At this point, I don't care about that man.
Hey, thank you.
Okay.
That's how he's felt for the longest. But he kept, Ben and I, we won a lot of games. I want Ben back. We could do this. We were the #1 seed. I said, that's bull jive. You know it was bull jive. I know it was bull jive. Everybody in the locker room know it was bull jive.
Yep.
I know one guy for certain knew it was bull jive.
Yep.
And that was Ben Simmons.
Yep.
Skip, I don't know. Skip, it's only going to get worse. When you ask the man, will you say, okay, Ben, get in there for the series? Nah, I'm good. No, seriously, Ben, go and sub. I need you in there. Nah, what part about that I'm good didn't you get? I'm not going in.
I'm wearing sweatpants and I got my cell phone in my pocket, so
Skip,
I'm not going in.
Right, Skip.
Yep.
So what do? You say, you know what? I'll just wait till the game. Now, Skip, it's going to be awful embarrassing.
Yep.
You're on national television. You're like, all right, Ben. And you know, Ben in the starting lineup, Ben still got his warm-ups on. He's sitting on the bench. And you out there with 4 players. And Ben sitting on the bench with his hands on his knees looking like, man, y'all minus a player. How's that going to look, Skip? I think, Skip, you got to move him sooner than later, Skip. This thing, Skip, it's getting worse. It's gonna get really messy when it really doesn't have to be. And I get it. Ben is under contract. I don't like the way Ben is handling this. I made it abundantly clear, Skip. I wouldn't have handled it like this. But how Ben Simmons would have handling it, and how I would have handled it, totally different.
Yep.
But Skip, it's unattainable. It's beyond repair. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing that can be said now because Joel Embiid has let it known over the last week and a half how he truly feels about this situation. So, Skip, it's time to move on. You're not going to get equal value for him, but you got to move it.
Okay. I told you as late as I believe yesterday or maybe the day before, I was still holding out hope.
This is Skip talking now.
And I know from inside they were holding out hope that this would slowly but surely blow over, that the air would get cleared. There'd be a little bit of forgive and some forget, and that they would slowly figure this back out because the Sixers from the top down do not want to trade Ben Simmons.
No.
He's just too valuable. They believe in him. They have bought stock in Ben Simmons because they've got 4 more years of contract that they owe him, that they feel like he owes them.
And that's a bargain.
Okay.
Consider what the salaries are going, that's a bargain what you got Ben Simmons on.
Okay, I got it. He made yet another all-star team last year. He made first-team all-defense, and obviously he got the free throw demons, especially in the Atlanta series, and it got ugly. And to your point, the turning point, the irony was this was a quote from Joel Embiid right after that Game 7, in which he starts off saying the turning point in the game was when we had an open shot. We had an open shot, and we made one free throw, not shot by Ben Simmons, by Thibault, right? And we missed one, and they came down and scored. That's how he summed up the game. We had an open shot. The turning point was. Well, I also think that was the turning point in this whole relationship with Ben Simmons. That was the turning point, the flash point.
That was one of it. Doc said what he said.
When he said what he said, and he says, I didn't mean it that way. I was trying to duck and dodge the question, but it came across that I don't know if I can win with him as my point guard, but could you win with him maybe as your forward? Something else, you know.
Make him a
I have to stop them right there. I don't want to play the whole segment. It's 12 minutes long. You guys can go on YouTube and check out this clip from Skip and Shannon. The title of the segment is "Will Philly Trade the Guard After Suspending Him for Bad Practice?" Okay, now I'm going to say my piece now. There's a lot of parallel between Ben Simmons and Lonzo Ball. Okay, they both are mixed children, or what they call mulatto children. I don't know if that's offensive. The word mulatto nowadays, I have no clue. I'm a 70s baby. A lot of things I grew up on is passé now and offensive. So please forgive me, those people out there of mixed race, if you find the word mulatto, quadroon, octoroon, or anything like that offensive. Okay? But they have that in common. That's number one. Number two, they're oversized point guards. They have that in common. Lonzo Ball is 6'6". Ben Simmons is 6'10". Okay. Where else I want to go with this? They both came into the league as oversized, above average athletes, athleticism, great passing and facilitating skills without a jump shot to speak of. And they both struggled at the free throw line. I'm speaking again of Lonzo Ball and Ben Simmons. I said to anybody that would listen, New Orleans, well, the Lakers, first of all, should not give up on Lonzo Ball. I didn't like the coaching job Luke Walton did. And then they signed LeBron James. And LeBron, of course, is on win now mode. He ain't got no time to develop any young players. So he wanted a sure thing. He orchestrated a trade that got Lonzo Ball shipped out to New Orleans to bring in AD. Of course, you can't say anything because it resulted in a championship, and that's the ultimate goal. But if they did not pull off that championship, it would have been a semi-disaster because I believe in Lonzo Ball. I believe he's the real deal. I believe he's a second coming of a Jason Kidd type player. I believe the same thing about Ben Simmons. Now, why I'm drawing a parallel between these two is that Lonzo Ball ignored the noise, ignored all the commentators or whatever, got in the gym. His father said he would improve. LeVar Ball. People didn't want to listen. He said, don't worry about it. Lonzo's fine. He's going to figure it out. He's going to straighten it out. And he sure enough figured it out, straightened out his jump shot. Now he's a almost, I would say, 38% three-point shooter, vastly improved. And I think his free throws is up around the 70% mark, somewhere around there. He improved his free throws. Now he's a complete player. He has to be a little bit more aggressive, driving to the hole. And when he does that, he's going to be something to be reckoned with. But the other parallel I'm drawing between him and Ben Simmons is they're both 25 years old or younger. And in today's society, this microwave society, right now, this fast food society, you want guys coming out of college who had 1 year of college. That's Lonzo Ball and Ben Simmons. 1 year of college, and that's only because of the damn rule that they instituted that you have to be 19 years old. Otherwise, both of them probably would have went straight to the NBA and bypassed college altogether. But they both did 1 year of college, and now people expect them in year two or year one or year two or year three to all of a sudden become the complete package of a player who's 29 and 30. It doesn't work that way. And it's the same thing that's happening in the NFL. They're taking all these rookie quarterbacks. Some of them only played 2 years at college ball. Some of them only 1 year of college ball. And they're just throwing them out there looking for the next Peyton Manning, Dan Marino, Michael Vick, whoever they're looking for. You have administrations that are panicking. They have no clue what they're doing. And Philadelphia, the 76er leadership, the upper management, you don't have a clue what you're doing. You have no fucking clue. This started off with the process, okay, which you tanked for 2 or more seasons. You robbed the fans. You didn't reduce the ticket prices while you was tanking. You didn't reduce the concession prices. You didn't reduce the parking prices. You didn't reduce the merchandise prices, but you tanked and you robbed the fans for about 2 or 3 seasons. That's part of the reason how the Golden State Warrior dynasty started, because you benched Iguodala and all the decent players you had there tanking. You shipped him off to Golden State. He became the one of the primary reasons they won, especially that first championship. He was Finals MVP because he was the only one that could even semi-slow LeBron down and make the games competitive, even though LeBron was down Kyrie Irving. Kyrie only played the first game of that series. So the process started on some bogus nonsense, tanking, robbing the fans for about 2 or 3 seasons. Okay, then they drafted Nerlens Noel. They drafted Ben Simmons. No, not Ben Simmons. Joel Embiid. They drafted the other boy that didn't work out, the lighter skinned guy that he's just Okafor. He just totally was a bust for his draft place, for the spot he was drafted. But okay, drafting rookies and especially in the lottery is hit and miss a lot of times. So they missed on Okafor. New Orleans Noel turned out to be a decent role player, but he also was a lottery pick. But you hit the bullseye on Joel Embiid, even though he was brittle and hurt the first couple years. It has panned out. He's become an all-star. He's become the best center in the league. That's panned out. Then you drafted Ben Simmons, number 1, another excellent pick. Now, these 2 young men are supposed to be the pillars and the cornerstone to your franchise. Both young guys. Now, I understand that, and they started calling it the process when they got Joel Embiid. The process. Okay, they go along. They're developing. Joel Embiid is turning into a monster. Ben Simmons is a triple-double threat every night and a first team and an all-defensive type player. But he doesn't have a jump shot to speak of. They knew that when they drafted him. He doesn't make his free throws that well. They knew that when they drafted him. They also knew they were drafting a kid that had 1 year of college. Okay? That he was going to need the time to develop. And all the while the 76er fans are hungry for a winner, after all of that tanking nonsense the 76ers did. And that came from upper management. This unethical process that they started. Then they made another good move, traded some young assets away and some good role players for Jimmy Butler. Right? And then I believe, I don't know if they signed him outright or they traded for, what's this guy's name? The small forward. His name escapes me right now because he's goddamn invisible on the court, and they gave him $180 million. The small forward. When his name comes to me, I'll mention him. Right? But his name is hard for me to remember because he's always disappearing. He's not worth $180 million. But you acquire him, you have him there, you got Jimmy Butler, you got Ben Simmons, you got Joel Embiid, and you have some role players around there. That was the makings of a championship type caliber team. For whatever reason, you let Jimmy Butler slip away and go to Miami. How do you let that happen? Mistake number 1. Mistake number 2. The same guy that I can't remember his goddamn name, they got him from the Clippers, Tobias Harris. That's his name. Tobias, just above mediocre Harris. He's a regular season player. And what I mean by that is he played on terrible Clipper teams and put up numbers. And he can put up numbers in the regular season. He can pull a 25-point performance out of his ass every now and then. Okay, but he is not a superstar. They paid him superstar money. I'm talking about Philadelphia's upper management, the 76er management. They overpaid. You let Jimmy Butler slip his way out of Philadelphia to Miami after you traded away assets for him. And he was the toughness, he was the mature, winning mindset individual that you needed in that locker room because Joel Embiid is not a leader. I don't know how much leadership Ben Simmons provides. He's still a very young player. Maybe he leads in a quiet way. Maybe he's not a rah-rah guy. But I know for a fact Joel Embiid is not a leader. Joel Embiid really didn't take basketball that serious, in my opinion. With all his talent, his immense talent, he's one of the most talented big men to ever play the game, Joel Embiid. But he's foolish. He's silly. I question his heart and I question his toughness. And I said this going back even 2 years ago. If they had chemistry issues between Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid, they should have traded Joel Embiid because he's injury prone. I feel he's a little lazy. I feel at times when the going gets really, really rough, that he turns into the cowardly lion. He can bully people in the regular season when ain't nothing on the line. All game long, he bully you, get you for 45 and 15, 20 rebounds, talk, do all that stuff he does to the crowd, especially when he's playing at home. He loves to play at home during the regular season, get a groove going and start showboating and front running. But guys like that, when you put the pressure on them in the playoff, when they're in that pressure cooker, all of a sudden it ain't fun in games no more. That's Joel Embiid. Ben Simmons knows it. He's probably looking at him like, yeah, I can't shoot, but this dude is a clown. And he folds under pressure. You mean to tell me, because you guys lost to Atlanta, an up-and-coming young team with an up-and-coming young superstar and Trae Young, because Ben Simmons didn't attempt a few open shots down the stretch, you want to get Doc Rivers? The reporter asked you, do you think you can win with Ben Simmons as your point guard? And you sit up there talking about, oh, I don't know. What the hell you mean you don't know? Doc Rivers is an overrated coach. The one championship team he had, I got to give Danny Ainge the credit for that, not Doc Rivers. Danny Ainge put together a hell of a roster. That team could have rattled off 2 or 3 championships if it wasn't for Kobe and the Lakers. He put together a hell of a roster. Those guys were all hungry for a championship. I'm talking about Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, and Kevin Garnett. Their role players knew their role. They were all tough. They all played defense. Doc Rivers, only thing he did was basically not blow the thing up. Just keep everybody together, all the personalities together, because you had a lot of alphas on that team. Even role players were alphas like Eddie House. Doc Rivers is an overrated coach. You had Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, and a talented Clipper team, and you blew a 3-1 lead to get bounced out of the playoffs. Then you got bounced out of the playoffs again last year. Somehow, some way, Doc gets another job, another good job too. Another good job. He goes to Philadelphia, where they have more talent there than the Knicks had in the last 10 years. In Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons. And you go there and screw that up in your first year, Doc. Then Joel Embiid, instead of realizing how much you need Ben Simmons, you start alienating the man. You're not a leader, Joel Embiid. You are the one person that had the power to smooth this all over, galvanize the team, bring Ben Simmons back into the fold mentally and spiritually, saying, hey, you know what? We riding or dying together. We the young guys that they building this thing around. Let's ride this thing. We can do this. You had the power to do that, Joel Embiid, but what did you do? You fan the flames. You stoke the fire. Like the immature clown that you are, despite all of your talent. Despite all of your talent, Joel Embiid is an immature clown who's just as happy hanging out on stage with rappers as he is playing ball. Owner of the Philadelphia 76ers, I hope this video reaches you. I hope that somebody says there's this crazy dude on YouTube that says your management team is clueless, because they are clueless. I would trade Joel Embiid before I traded Ben Simmons 10 times out of 10. I can build around Ben Simmons. I can work around his shooting issues. You give him encouragement and you wait. You be patient. Ben Simmons is like a good stew on the stove. You don't go to eat that, reach in that pot and eat that stew after 45 minutes. It ain't ready. You want a microwave superstar. You want a finished product that you can put in the microwave. You want a gourmet meal that you can throw in the microwave and heat up in 5 minutes and be ready. No. Y'all are bugging Philadelphia management. What are you, just hiring people you know, your buddies? You hiring somebody that comes through the door in a nice European tailored suit? You're going to regret it. I feel this way because I've become a 76ers supporter by default by living in the Pennsylvania mountains. I've watched many games. I know how talented Embiid is, but he is a cowardly, immature clown. He reminds me of Dwight Howard. And you know what happened when Dwight Howard went to the Lakers and got around Kobe, and Kobe damn near smacked his damn teeth out of his mouth. He said, are you here to win or what? Are you going to stop all that smiling and goofing around, or are you here to win? Kobe wasn't no goddamn joke when it came to that basketball. When you come near the Laker team, you better be damn serious and you better be ready to win. He called Dwight Howard a bitch to his face. And Dwight Howard is 6'11", got shoulders the size of mountains. But you know what Kobe saw in him? A punk. A clown. The same thing I see in Joel Embiid. Philadelphia management. All of you should call a meeting, bring Ben Simmons in, and apologize until the heavens come down. Guarantee him that you're going to build this thing around him. Ship Embiid out the door. Ship Tobias Harris and his overpaid contract, setting up goddamn 10 generations of his family for life for a guy that's barely an all-star. Philadelphia management. Barely an all-star that you paid $180 million to. You guys need to get in touch with me, Philadelphia ownership. Get in touch with me. You want your team turned around? You want your team going to the finals like they should have been the last 2 seasons? Especially if they still had Jimmy Butler, they would have been in the finals. It took a lucky shot from Kawhi Leonard to stop them from getting to the finals. You don't know what you have there in Ben Simmons. You guys are dropping the ball. You are fucking up badly. Look at Lonzo Ball. Look how he changed his career around. And New Orleans is another foolish squad. They so focused on injury-prone Zion Williamson, they had a diamond in Lonzo Ball right in their hands. Let him walk out the door. They don't know what they're doing either. I would not have drafted Zion. I would have drafted Ja Morant. Ja is going to have a longer, more productive career than Zion Williamson. What the New Orleans Pelicans have is somebody that's going to sell jerseys and fill the seats for a few years until all of that weight finally bogs down his knees and his ankles, and he's going to be a mediocre player once he loses that burst because he's not tall enough to sustain an all-star career without that athletic burst. You're dropping the ball, literally and figuratively, with Ben Simmons, Philadelphia. You're disappointing the fans so bad. And right now, the town is right there for your grabs. The Eagles are struggling. They don't know what the hell they're doing. They traded the goddamn best receiver on the team, their tight end, Zach Ertz, while they have a young, struggling quarterback. The Eagles have no idea what the fuck they're doing. So right now, the 76ers can grab that town of Philly and grab a stranglehold on it, especially with a championship. And how you think you're going to get it if you trade Ben Simmons? You're not going to get equal value. What you're going to get in return is a couple of good players or one good player and some fucking draft picks right back where you started from. What do you want draft picks now at this point? Philadelphia fans don't want to go through that again. We don't want no more hopes and dreams and pies in the sky in the goddamn draft. You screwed up when that hard James Harden trade didn't go through, but it was already out there. The cat was out of the bag. He knew then that y'all was trying to get rid of him. And I don't think that would have worked out for you, James Harden. James Harden don't play no defense. You would have him and Joel Embiid running up and down, scoring a whole bunch of points, and they wouldn't be playing no defense. It looks great on paper, James Harden and Joel Embiid. But when have you ever seen James Harden play with an all-star big and it work out? Didn't work out with Dwight Howard in Houston. James Harden plays a up and down tempo. Joel Embiid needs the tempo to slow down so he can get busy in the post and he can catch his breath to run back on defense. That would not have worked the way the Philadelphia Brass thought it would have worked. It's a chemistry thing. And that's the other thing. And that's what I'm going to end with here. A lot of you executives don't understand chemistry. Chemistry is more important in basketball than it is in any other sport. Why? Because you have 5 guys on the floor, 12 to 15 guys in a locker room, and these guys have to be tight. I'm not saying they all got to be best friends, but chemistry-wise, you can't have guys in there that don't like each other, that are enemies, not speaking to each other, and win a championship. That just, Michael Jordan and Dennis Rodman weren't best friends, but there was a respect factor there that allowed them to work together without being buddy-buddy. They communicated effectively. They each knew what to do. And Michael Jordan, for the most part, didn't have to babysit Dennis Rodman. That was Phil Jackson's job. Phil Jackson told Mike, trust me, I'll keep him in line. Mike said, you better. And for the most part, Dennis stayed in line because of his respect for Michael Jordan. Right now, Joel Embiid doesn't respect Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons doesn't respect Joel Embiid. if you keep them two there together, you're making a big mistake. If you ship off Ben Simmons and think you're going to build a franchise around Embiid, you're making a big mistake. That's not the way the game of basketball is going. It's not going toward dominant bigs. Every team is scoring 115, 20 points a game. So you cannot go back to the days of Akeem Olajuwon, Patrick Ewing, David Robinson, and Tim Duncan, where you could just come down, throw the ball into the post, and control the tempo that way. It just doesn't work in this day and age with the three-point shot and just the way the game is played. So Ben Simmons, it makes more sense to build around an all-star perimeter guy than an injury-prone all-star big. Are you hearing me, Philadelphia? Are you listening? I know this channel's not that big, but I hope somehow, some way, this reaches y'all ears. Y'all get in touch with me. I'll come to Philadelphia for a discount and help y'all straighten it out. All right, this has been Rant Social, guys. I know I go live spur of the moment. I'm going to try to do it where I give notifications and give you guys like a day in advance or whatever. But you know how I do this. When I get passionate about something, I just go. I don't do premeditated passion. I can't schedule passion for tomorrow at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. That's not the way rant works. I'm a real dude. I'm not some fake YouTuber drumming up excitement 2-3 times a day for views. So when you see me on here speaking passionately, that's because I'm passionate about it. I ain't faking it. I'm not drumming it up for views. This is me. All right. I appreciate all you guys. I appreciate all you guys in the comment section. Please let me know how you feel about this Ben Simmons fiasco and how you feel about maybe your own team that you root for is mishandling a situation. All right. And we can talk about it. All right. I should have been a general manager of a team. I'm that damn good. Seriously. I'm that damn good. You give me 2 years with the 76ers, we're in the finals. Just give me 2 years to ship off Joel Embiid and Tobias Harris and build a team around Ben Simmons. You guys will be in the finals in 2 years. Championship within 4. You give me the job. Because obviously the guys, the suits you got there right now, from management down to your damn head coach, don't have a clue. This is Rant Roller Sports. I'm out.